1, 2, 3.
Good
morning,
teacher.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, guys.
Let's give a minute or two for Teacher Om to do a warm-up with us, just to get our minds working.
Okay, guys, please show to the hands. Like this. Idin, bonus idea. Cookie, Kupo, Yoko, home. Okay, good job. All right. And then we're gonna close the left hand, the right hand. Gonna open it. And then we're gonna switch. I'm gonna count 1 to 10. You guys ready? Yes. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Thank you so much. Good job, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to another mathematics class. I think this is our last mathematics class for the next 2 weeks, while you guys have to prepare for your grade 6 tests. So we're going to start with a new topic, but it's not a very difficult topic. We're going to do some pie charts. I also not want to do too much today because we are not going to progress that far in this topic, only on one lesson. But I wanted us to start today with pie charts just because it's a nice, easy topic. And all we have to do is just read information off a graph. So it's not very difficult for us to do, and it's nice and interactive. You can make your own pie charts, which we can do in the future. And we can do a lot of different types of charts. But today we're going to start by looking at pie charts. So we have a few vocabulary words here that I would first like to discuss with you before we start. The first one we have over here is comparing. Now, comparing means if we have two things that are quite similar, but we want to find out the difference or want to find out which one might be better than the other one, we compare the two. When we compare, we can compare different types of things, like attributes. For instance, I have these two glasses. One is a cup, one is a glass. We can compare them to see what is the differences. For instance, this one is see-through. We can see through this glass, and this one is not see-through. So we are comparing to find the differences. Okay, the next one is data. Data is just a set of information we gather by completing certain tasks. So we'll talk about how data works in a little bit. And then we have our pie chart. This is the one we're going to focus most of our time on. And we're going to talk about how to read the pie chart as well. And then the last one is slices. Now each pizza always has some slices. If you go to buy a pizza, they cut it in slices for you. Now the same is for pie charts. We can also divide the pie chart because it's round, almost like a pizza. We can divide it into different slices of information for us to read easier. Okay. So first off, just quick explanation of what are pie charts. So a pie chart is a type of chart that uses a circle, and it is divided into slices to represent the number or amount of data. The area of each slice is proportional to the quantity it represents. So here we go, favorite pets of grade 6 students. So here we can see they've gathered some data and information over here. So the first is cats, then we have dogs, then we have ornamental fish, and we have rabbits. So in this class, we can see that there's 20, 10, 5, and 15. So if we add all of them together, we find that there is 50 students. So they asked 50 students, what is your favorite pet? And then they created a pie chart by the different amounts of students that like different pets. So if you want to read a pie chart, the most important part of a pie chart is looking at how big the slices is. If the slice is bigger, the amount should also be bigger because it covers more area of the circle than maybe a small slice would. So if we first compare rabbits, I'm going to grab my marker. If you first compare rabbits to dogs, we can see that dogs have a much bigger slice than rabbits. So dogs must be more or a higher amount than rabbits. And here we can see the rabbits, only 5 students has a rabbit as their favorite pet. But 20 students have dogs as their favorite pet. So once you understand that, how we can look at the data and look at the pie chart and the different sizes, we are already halfway there. Okay. So for instance, we will be asking certain types of questions. We can ask very easy questions. We can ask very difficult questions. So the easy question might be, how many students' favorite animal is a cat? So if you look at this one, the favorite pet of the students is a cat. How many students say cat? You can tell me. You can look on the graph here. How many students' favorite animal is a cat? You can tell me.
10.
10. So that's a very basic question. We can also ask a question like, what percentage of the whole class likes cats? So then we will have to calculate, for instance, a percentage. And we do that by saying the amount of cats is 10. The total amount of students is 50. And we times that with 100 over 1 to get a percentage. So 10 over 50 is 1 over 5 will give us 20% of students like a favorite animal is a cat. So that's a more difficult question that you can receive. But let's do some examples and let's see if you understand the questions. Okay. Example number 1. Use the pie chart to answer each question. So in this pie chart, the first thing that's most important is to read what it is about. For instance, this one says favorite sports. The previous one was favorite pets. This one is favorite sports. So always make sure that we understand the information we receive. So the first question, for instance, how many students are there all together? So that means we'll have to add all the number of students from the whole pie chart. And we do that by saying 48 plus 24 plus 12 plus 36. So if you add them all together, you will get to 120 students. Let's do question number 2. Which sport is the most preferred and by how many students? Who can answer that question for me? What sport is the most preferred?
Swimming.
Swimming. Swimming has 48. That's the highest number. So if someone asks you most preferred, it means the most out of all of them. So also sometimes we have to be careful about reading the information and make sure we read carefully so that we understand clearly what they are asking from us. So the answer is swimming is the most preferred and by 48 students. The next question, number 3, which sport is the least preferred? Who can tell me that answer?
Tennis.
Tennis. Excellent. Thank you very much. Indeed, tennis. Why? Because that's the smallest slice. Look how small the slice of tennis is. Okay. And I will show you an example of how we can make our own pie charts on the computer in just a moment. Okay. So the other types of questions we can ask is, how many students prefer table tennis to playing tennis? So here we have to compare how many students like table tennis, how many students like tennis. And then we have to find the difference. So there are 12 more students that like table tennis than tennis, because we take 24 minus the 12 will give us 12. And then the last question here, what is the fraction of total students that prefers football? So they say it's 3/10, but really we first have to write the full fraction, which will be 36 over the total number of students, which equals 120. And then if we make this smaller and we simplify our fraction, we would get to 3/10. How do we do that? Divide by 12 on the top, divide by 12 at the bottom. Okay, to simplify our fraction. So let's go into a little bit more practical exercises where you guys don't have the answers with you. So over here, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. I want you guys to answer them as best as you can. So use the pie chart to answer the questions. Who can first of all, who can tell me what is the first pie chart about? What is the first pie chart about?
Time spent on activity.
Excellent. Times spent on activities. So now we know what we are dealing with, and we can read and we see we have do homework. Usually do homework for me when I was a child, maybe this big of a slice. I never did any homework as a student, and my teachers always used to beat me. So you can do homework, or we can study, we can sleep, we can have meals, or play with friends. So number one, what is the total number of hours shown in the pie chart? You can tell me.
24 hours.
24 hours. Excellent. Remember, it's very important when we answer these questions to write hours at the back. If you forget to write hours, you will get 0 marks, because the teacher has to understand that you know what we are working with. Okay. Number two, what is the sum of the time spent on studying and doing homework?
8 hours.
8 hours, because we have to do the homework plus we have to study, so we add them together. 8 hours. Excellent. Thank you very much for those answers. The next one, how many more time is spent on sleeping than on playing with friends? What do we need to do to answer this question? Can we read one more time? How much more time is spent on sleeping than on playing with friends?
3 hours.
3 hours. How did you get to 3 hours?
8 minus 5.
8 minus 5. Excellent. Thank you very much. That is 100% correct. They ask us how much more, so we have to compare. We compare playing with friends to sleeping. And then we have to make a quick mathematical equation by doing a minus, and then we will find that we spent 3 hours more on sleeping than we do with playing with our friends. Okay. Which activity, sorry, question number 4. Which activity is 3 hours long?
Having meals.
Having meals. Something that I also love to do is having some meals. Excellent. Having meals. Very good, you guys. Excellent so far. The next one is a next pie chart. So first of all, who can tell me what is this pie chart about? At the bottom here. What is this information?
Result of a football team during a tournament.
Excellent. The results of a football team during a tournament. So here we can see there's only 3 options. Either win, lose, or draw. Because that's the only outcomes we can have when playing football. So the first one, the total number of matches is 20. How many matches does the total area of the pie chart represent? Now the questions get more interesting. 20 hours, beautiful. They give us the time here of 20, so we can say 20 games, sorry, 20 games or matches. Matches. 20 games or matches. Excellent. How many matches end in a draw?
6.
6. How did you calculate that? Can you tell me how you calculated that answer? Let me show you the way we calculate it. So we want to have a draw, and here they say a draw happens 30% of the time. So if you want to calculate how many matches end in a draw, so it'll be 30%, and if you work with a percent, it's always over 100. 30% multiplied by 20 games over 1. So 30 times 20 equals 600. Divide by 100 will give us an answer of 6 matches. You guys understand this question? And it makes sense? Remember, if you work with a percentage, it's always over 100. Never forget that. Very important. If you never forget that, it's very difficult to make any mistakes while we are completing our work. Okay, so matching the draw, they said 6 matches. How many more wins does the team score than losses? Now we have to compare wins and losses. What do you think is that answer? So firstly, we have to do 2 calculations. First, to find the winning amount of games. So if we have 50%, we know it's half of the total number of games. So there are 10 games that they have won. 20% over 20. Who knows what that answer is? 4. And 6 adds all to 20. So how many more wins does the team score than losses? You can tell me. Very straightforward. Oops. Very straightforward over here. We take our 10 wins and we minus 4 losses. And then we will have 6 more wins. So we can say in our answer, 6 more wins. 6 more wins than losses. Do you guys understand the question? Do you understand my answer? I hope so. I hope so. I think we're going to do one more page, and then I want to show you a practical example of how we use pie charts in our daily lives. Okay. We have one more question for number 4. What fraction of the total number of matches were the wins? Now, this is a very easy question. I won't ask a question as easy as this one. It's a half. Why is it a half? Because we won 50% of the time. And 50 over 100 simplifies into 1 over 2. So that is a simple question. You won't get a question that is that easy to ask. I would usually ask the losses or the draws to find that fraction, because that will not be as easy. It's not difficult, but it will just a little bit more complex. Okay, so the last one, last 5 questions before we move on to a practical example, and then we will finish off this lesson. I don't want to do too much today because we are not going to see each other for a while. So the next pie chart is about sales of juice for a juice stall in April. So this is a nice example as well, because you can find a lot of small little stalls in Thailand that do sell juice or sell some kind of tea or some cool drink. Some sell different types of things. So this is a good example of how we use pie charts in a practical environment around us. So number 1, what type of juice did the stall sell? You can tell me. What types of juice did the store sell?
Longan juice, guava juice, orange juice, and lemonade.
Excellent, excellent. So the moment you see the S over here, what types? If you see the S over here, you know the answer has to be more than 1, because they're asking for a plural. Types. How or what types of juice? Has to be more than 1. And for this instance, we list all of them. I'm not going to write them down here because I can't fit them in. Maybe I can just use my tool. Long gone, guava, lemonade, and orange juice. So this is how you can answer a question like this. Remember to always put your commas when you're dealing with multiple groups of the same type. And you don't have to put juice after each name. You can just say longan, guava, lemonade, and orange juice. With the juice at the end, it refers to all of these ones in front of it. So it's an easy way to write down groups of information. Okay, 4 more questions. Which type of juice was sold the most? What percentage is it? You can tell me which one was sold the most. Anyone tell me? Let's look at the chart.
Lemonade.
Lemonade, excellent. Lemonade. Okay, that's the first one. What is the percentage? 40%. Very simple. We can just read from the chart. So the most important part about this pie chart is read the information. All the answers are there. You just have to read it. 3 more to go. Which type of juice was sold the least? What percentage is that? Least meaning the lowest amount. So which juice sold the least or the lowest amount? Can anyone tell me? Long gone. Why is my not typing? Long gone juice. Oh. And a long gone juice is at 10%. Okay. Two more. Let's quickly finish up this slide here. Two more to go. So which type of juice were the most different in sales?
Lemonade and long gone juice.
Lemonade and long gone juice. Excellent. And they have a 30% difference in sales. I'll just write there 30% at the end. Excellent. That's how you compare those two again. Very good idea. Thank you very much. And the last one, if the total sales are 45,000 baht, how much was made from each type of drinks? So this one we can calculate. It's not too difficult. We have to take the total number, and we know that they give us a percentage. So if we add all of these, it has to add to 100%. You can say 35 plus 15 is 50, and plus 40 is 90, plus 10 is 100. So for each of them, we're gonna go 10 for long gone juice over 100, multiply by 45,000 to get the amount for long gone juice. So for the first one, it is 4,500 baht. All right, LO for the long gone. All right, G for guava. All right, O for orange juice. And at the bottom, I'll write LE for lemonade. So guava juice is about 15%. So if you calculate guava juice, what do you think the amount of money is that they made from guava juice? The amount they made from guava juice will now be 15 over 100 times 45. So it's 6,750 for guava juice. For orange juice, then we change it to 35%. For 35%, if you calculate it, we get 15,750. And the last one, lemonade, is at 40%. You can tell me what is the answer there? Very simple, 18,000 for lemonade. And if we add them all together, at the end, we can write them underneath each other. And if we add them all together, we have to get to the amount of 45,000 baht. If we get to that amount, we know we worked correctly. Okay. Excellent, excellent. So that's all that I wanted to work from the book. I want to give you a quick example of how we can use, how we can set up an easy pie chart. Let me show you an example. Give me just a moment to open my program. If you want to make a pie chart, for instance, we can say sport over here as an example, and we can put cricket, badminton, soccer, tennis, just those few. And we can say cricket is 10, 25, 4, 16, 8. So for this example, we want to create a pie chart. We can insert and you will find the word charts. We have different types of charts we can insert. We want to have a pie chart and we have all the information there, beautifully grouped already. If you want to edit the pie chart, we can change it and we can edit it to add in the names. We can make it look different. We can give it a title. We can make it look into percentages. So when you go to the secondary school, to Mathium level, you will get to a point where you can set up these type of things by yourself. And if we have some time in the classroom, and when you guys come back, if there is any time left for this semester, we can also create our own pie chart in the class by not using the computer, but by using circles and statistics or data. Okay. So that's just a quick example of how we can use our pie charts or how we can create pie charts. And the last thing I want to say before we finish this lesson is, I want to say good luck to you guys that are writing your grade 6 test in the next 2 weeks. May you have the wisdom to carry you all the way to the top. Please also remember when you are writing any of these tests to read carefully and to think clearly about what you want to answer before you start writing. It's very important to think before you start writing. First, we read carefully, we think clearly, and we write our answer. I know it might be a little bit stressful for the preparation for you guys, but the best thing you can do before you start writing, take a few deep breaths, relax, and then start to read slowly and carefully. And as you get into the test and you do a little bit of it, you can read a little bit faster, or you can answer the way you feel it is appropriate. But yes, I wanted to wish you guys a good luck, and I hope all the best for each and every one of you. And just know that we as teachers are also thinking about you and do hope that you do very well. Okay. So because it's Friday, I wanted to play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors before we end our lesson. So if you want to play with me, please make sure we have our cameras on. And please make sure we do some warm-up so we don't get any injuries. But let's see, yesterday I had the grade 5 class and no one could beat me. So let's see if you guys have better luck today. Okay, are you guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh. Woo! No one beat teacher again. Yay! Good job for the teacher. We have some of you that drew, some of you that did not win, but it's okay because we will have more opportunities to beat the teacher in the future. Okay. If you guys have anything else to say, now is the time to say it, but we're going to end our lesson very soon. So if there's anyone that wants to say anything, you can say that now. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for coming this morning. I know it's nice and early, but thank you all for coming. Hope you learned something new, and good luck and have fun. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you guys.
Take care.
Bye.